and then I can choose what model I want, 2006 model, 2008, 13, so on. Just go with the current model, 2013 one. Call sign, just go call sign Raptor, and let's just say 4 of them. So just add that selected, but they don't have weapons or anything, they're just kind of sitting at Cadena. And I can add weapons if I go to the magazines at Cadena, but I'm not bothering that right now. That'd take too long. I'd have to research what I need. But let's just say ready arm. These are the current loadouts for, like, they're pretty limited what the F-22 can carry because it's primarily just for air-to-air purposes. So if you look at the F-16, the F-15s, they have tons of weapons they can carry. Everything from air-to-air missiles, air-to-ground, anti-radiation, dumb bombs, JDAMs, laser-guided bombs, anti-tank missiles, just basically anything in existence. So I'm just going to give them give them an external loadout, so not as stealthy. Actually, now I'll just give them standard internal, so a bit more stealthier. Let's see if anyone has any other questions. No one really has any questions. I think I'm gonna, just for help Cadena, I think I'm gonna give them some E3s, or one E3. Let's see, 2015 model. I don't even know if that's in production yet or in service, but a lot of these are hypothetical refits that are planned, but you know how the military works normally, there's a lot of delays. So I'm going to launch the F-22s as a group, and then launch the Sentry individually. And if you can see, we've got F-22 is going to take a few minutes to take off, as well as the Sentry. They have to taxi. There's a bunch of runways, so I'm not actually sure how many runways Cadena has, but so it shouldn't be a issue. Also, I'm pretty sure I think at least 2 F-22s can take off from one runway at a time if needed. So I'm gonna skip the time up, and here we go. Group 1495, which is just the Raptors as well as the Sentry. I'm gonna send the Sentry to fly over the Pacific. Turn on its radar. You can see that's its radar range right here. I'm gonna merge range symbols so I don't get too much. It can cause lag. And then I'm gonna send the F-22s out to follow it. Now I'm gonna switch to Red 4. I'm going to pause, import, let's see, load from file. See, this just makes everything easier. I don't have to do this, but it's easier. So I actually haven't added the Chinese, like kind of messed around with the Chinese, but look at Chinese 80 radars 2013, and let's see, I'll look for the Guangzhou air bases. A modern dual purpose housing flankers. Okay, so a fighter base, another fighter base. I'm gonna see what's closest. More bomber base, air base, including flankers. It said it gives a description. Looking for Vietnam. No, it's too south. I don't need that. So load selected installations, and the Chinese 80 radars right now are mapped. There. This is in group view. This, a little stress on the system. I'll just turn that on. Radar is active. And right here you have the Chinese radar, so they'll be able to detect any contacts as well. Just be a little fair on them. And I'm feeling kind of lazy, so I'm gonna actually move this entire airbase just right here. And then pause. Add aircraft. I'm gonna do some J-10s. The kind of standard Chinese fighter. Give them the 2014 model just to be fair. Or this is really where the this is really the main focus of the game right here, is air combat and sea combat. Take the Dragons, ready arm. Center close air patrol, ready immediately. Normally it takes a while to get ready, but for purposes of mission I'm not going to bother with magazines is just kind of a demonstration. Let's see. Launches group. Oh, also, I think I'm gonna add a. Can't remember the exact name, but whatever I'm gonna just look up the Chinese mainstay. A50. Yeah, the KG200. Yeah, here it is. This is the main ring. This is the Chinese early warning. Basically, they're equivalent to the E3. It's a Russian-based plane. Early warning. Set that to launch as well. And I'm gonna. I'm actually surprised the Chinese haven't detected the E3 yet. Okay, let's see what's active. I think this is the this is the J10 group. J10 is I'd say kind of close to the F-16 almost. It's allegedly was an Israeli concept that was kind of reverse engineered by the Chinese. Here we go, sensors. We're gonna send that to fly out over the Pacific as well. Switch to. Let's see. So it doesn't looks like neither side has detected each other. Because it looks like the Chinese radar ends right near Okinawa, which is where Kadena is. And I don't think the Sentry has enough altitude right now to detect. Let's see. Yeah, it's gaining altitude. Once it gains altitude, it should get a pretty fair view of the area. Anyone ask any questions? Reverse engineered by the Chinese. Oh, it was a J10? Well, no, the plane's called the J10, but it was allegedly, no one's really been able to confirm it, but there was a Israeli concept. I can't remember what the name of it was, but there's rumors that it looked exactly like the J10. You just Google the J10. It's a Chinese fighter. The rumor was that this Israeli plane, somehow some Chinese engineers found like the blueprints and stuff for it, and kind of reverse engineered their own version of it based off of the original Israeli concept. It was I'd say it's kind of close to what the F-16 is, but the Israelis kind of didn't really see the need for it, and they didn't get past like the early prototype stage. They figured they could just keep buying F-16s. So we skip time a little more. As the early warning plane gets closer to Kadena, we should be able to see at least the E3 pop up. The F-22s might not pop up due to the stealth. So right here, okay, this is kind of where it gets tricky. We have a theorized location of where the Blue 4 forces think the A-50 is, because the E3, so you can see how it jumps, because it's only coming really from one direction. So we know there's a radar contact. We know exactly where. We know where it could be. That red area is kind of the, as you can see right here, it's, let me click map settings. So right here, the E3, I don't know if the E3 is picking it up yet, or if the F-22's picked it up first, but they're picking up a radar contact coming at them, but they don't know where, like specifically, they just know it's within this band. You get a little closer, or if you had a few more fighters or early warning aircraft, they could probably triangulate the position. But it's gonna kind of throw them out. So now you see that we've had the contact for a little longer and we've gotten closer. We can see basically where it is now. So I'm gonna send that a little closer, and the Sentry a little closer as well. Oh, we'll switch to the Chinese. They're still flying out. See, so that's actually where it is. According to the Blue 4, it's right there. So just another thing to take in consideration. So it seems complex right now, but really, I think this is just kind of just getting the mission set up and all. Once the mission's actually started, it's not that complicated. See if we got any more questions. Wasn't the USSR flanker series? I'm not actually sure about that, but it could be. Not sure what it would be based off, but I have heard rumors that the flanker was based off of something. Let's see. Wait till the fighter group gets a little faster. Okay, they just picked up the Bogey 1478, which is, I'm assuming, because it's broadcasting radar, is the E3. So Chinese fighters know where the E3 is, and they're gonna go check it out. Yeah, that's the E3. They have no idea where the F-22 is. But the E3's just picked up some bogeys. About 4 of them, so they've picked up all the J-10s. They've also picked up where exactly the A-50 is, just because I'm not exactly sure. But most of the complicated work is done for you by the AI. So they still got that bogey. The fighters are headed to check it out. So right now I have a tight. It's right here. The doctrine. Rules of engagement: free. They'll fire any contact that's not friendly. Tight. They'll only fire enemies and hold them with fire. You can. I'll just put inherited. Tight. So they'll just keep doing what they're doing. Switch back to blue 4. Now it looks like the F-35s or the F-22s are actually behind. Or not behind, but they could get behind the Chinese fighters. Although they're faster, I might have to account for that. But let's see. Nah, they'll be behind them. So I know I'm not being really strategic right now. I'm just showing you the extent of the system. Now, just as an experiment, I'm gonna turn on the radars. And I don't know how. Looks like the F-22's radars haven't been picked up yet. So okay, right here we say contact bogey has been classified as E3G, so they've picked up the sentry. This seems complicated, but it's really only because I'm switching between sides and kind of playing both against each other. So since we're already hostile, I'm gonna send the F-22s to go take out those J-10s. Gonna turn off their radars because they don't need them. They're already being assisted by the E3. And I'm going to order these Chinese fighters to attack the E3. And I'm going to have the E3 fall back, because even if it falls back, the Chinese contacts are still in range. So now it's just kind of a race between the J-10s and the F-22s, see if the F-22s can get there first. If we have any contacts. Let's see. Yeah, it's the F-15. Yeah, I think the flanker was F-15 counter. So yeah, right now it's just oh wow, looks like the F-22s took the lead. They've already fired some AMRAAMs. You can see they fired ahead, so let's see how this plays out. This game seems pretty realistic with the accuracy rates, because, you know, simulated accuracy is a lot higher than actual combat accuracy, and this game usually tends to reflect that, so even the Patriot, you know, isn't going to hit everything. Even the THAAD won't hit everything, you know. Although I have had some bad experiences with some of the Russian AA. Are the Chinese fighter aircraft good in comparison to most of America? That's been argued over a while. Most people argue that the indigenous produced Chinese fighters are inferior to what the Americans will be throwing at them. But the Russian knockoffs, as well as some that they've actually bought, are generally assumed to be almost on par. Because the Russian aircraft, it's debatable. It really comes down to a lot of debate. But the J-10 is very inferior to anything that it would be fighting. It's from early '90s, I think.